What about, ladies and gentlemen, we got DJ Hendog, Gigi La Chicana Guerrero is in the house. What's going on, Gigi?
I'm trying to share.
I know, I am too. I got a little introduction in the back. I just want you to dance, right, Gigi?
Yeah, pateale. Hey, I like the background you got in, dog. It's nice.
I create every flyer for each show, man. So if you want a flyer, ladies and gentlemen, contact me, all right? I'll hook you guys up, man, for the low price of $99.99, all right?
I'm single now. Go now.
A la máquina, I'm just kidding, man. I want to give her a big shout out, man, to the Impossible, always Impossible. Nitzia, man. We had her on the show last night, man. It was an awesome show. We hit a milestone last night, man. We hit a 700 views on the podcast, man. That's a world record, man, for the music podcast, man. We haven't had a music show in a while, man. No, we haven't hit we hit a big record last time, man. We had a good time, man. We got muted. We got blocked.
You played Me Voy a Casar by Gigi Los Chicanos.
Ah, la máquina. I did, Gigi.
Yeah, you did. And also you got TV from my dad, so yeah. I'm just kidding.
I did. Ah, la máquina. I didn't know I played those.
I have them on rotation.
I mean, when did I play those? No, just kidding, man. I'm just trying to get some people to tune in real quick, man. I'm just tagging all my.
Saludos to everybody that's watching or will be watching later. Hope you're staying warm here in the RGB. We still have a winter warning. It's actually 32 freezing degrees right now. We did have some flurries around the RGB today, and apparently we're still going to have a cold night and a cold morning. 20 degrees, I think, is expected. So everybody, stay warm. Be careful. Don't forget about your pets, your babies. Bring them in.
Pets, man.
Yeah,
I heard in Texas it's a $3,000 fine, if I'm not mistaken, right, Gigi? Something like that?
I don't know because I've never left my doggy out. My babies are inside babies. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's harsh punishment, especially like you can't have your dog like on those big chains. You can't have them leashed on those big chains, and they have to have like extra room to run around. There's a lot. They are very protective here about our four-legged friends. Yeah, so I guess it should be everywhere because they can't protect themselves. We need to protect them. We need to help them.
Yeah, man. We got a special guest tonight, man. We always got special guests, man. Don't forget, man. Yeah. Let me put this out there for you guys, man. We do got a special guest, I believe, tomorrow. I mean, man, how do I keep up with myself, man?
I don't know.
Thank God for a calendar, right? Don't forget, man, tomorrow, man, we're going to have Joey Jams and the whole gang, man. Loca Pasión. New group, new band. La Mafia Tribute Band, man. We're going to have them in the casa, man. Mañana.
Oh, that's what they're called?
Loca Pasión, man. A tribute to La Mafia.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
These guys right here, man. These guys are hot, man. One of my good friends, man, Joey Jams, is going to be in the house. The whole band is going to be in the house, if I'm not mistaken. I'm working on a project, man. I'm going to try to bring the whole band on the podcast. Maybe do a little bit of live jam session. I'm working on something for you guys, all right? Maybe a little sneak peek, a little bit of sneak peek. I mean, no promises, all right? But these guys right here, man, are going to be on the show mañana, 8 o'clock p.m. New Mexico time, 9 o'clock p.m. Texas time. So be sure to grab a beer and make sure you grab some popcorn and relax, man, because this is going to be an interesting podcast mañana. But we do got a special guest tonight, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Did I say San Antonio? I think I said San Antonio. Beautiful Sylvia Soto, man. Welcome into the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. What's going on, Sylvia?
Hello, everybody. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, girlfriend? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Doing great over here in San Antonio. It was snowing today, or there was a little bit of a cold front that came in. So it's been fun. It's been interesting.
I'm sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties here. So you're in San Antonio. I hear you got flurries today. Did you get
Yes, we did. It was not too cold. It was a little bit what we call snow, because it never snows down here. But there was a little bit of ice, throughout, and people got really excited. They started making these snowmen and having a lot of fun outside. So it lasted for a little while, and then the sun came out very bright, and it all melted away. So it was fun while it lasted. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. For Texas, it's quite an experience to have snow. For anybody out there who doesn't realize how special snow is to us.
Yes, it is. It happens every once in like 10 years or something. But I mean, this was just a little sleet. But we've had those years where it actually was like a lot more snow. But it was fun to look at it. When you go outside, everything's white, and it was fun for a little while.
Yeah, I'm glad that. And my daughter's out there in Austin, and they had the little flurries también.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's good times. It's fun. It's fun just like that. I mean, snowstorm, no thanks. But like little flurries like that, that's good.
Yes, it is.
So Sylvia, while Hendug is busy, talk to us about Sylvia Soto. What do we need to know about Sylvia Soto?
So, just a little bit. I mean, we are on a radio show, so I did do radio co-hosting for about 15 years. Mostly in Austin, Primetime Tejano, which was a show that the longest running Tejano show in the whole Texas, and probably in a lot, like in the world, probably. But it was a show that was on for a very long time, and it really, did provide a lot of Tejano music to the Round Rock, Temple, Tyler, about 30 years. The actual owner was on for 30 years. I was on there for a couple of those years. And that's how I kind of got introduced to the music, just co-hosting, doing events, and doing a lot of fun stuff with that. But there's a lot of things that I really enjoyed helping with in regards to community service, going out there and helping the community. I'm also a teacher, but this last year I actually ran for State Representative 124 here in San Antonio, and it went really well. So we're really excited about that, and hopefully still doing a lot of things within the community. So it's all about community for me.
So you won. I didn't get that part. You did win in Soto?
You mean the election?
Uh-huh.
It was for State Representative 124, which is the west side of San Antonio. And that was what I had ran for during the November 5th election, which was just the presidential election that just passed by. But again, we weren't successful in this particular, but I could consider it a success because we did increase the numbers within the area. And I'm going to still continue to help the community, because that's really the whole purpose of holding any kind of office, is to help the community, help the people, help the children, and just make things better. I know we just had, a new president coming in, yesterday. So it's been exciting time with a lot of changes coming up. And I think that everybody's just hoping, especially since it's a new year, for things to get better for our community and just to improve overall.
That's always admirable, that you are servicing the community, because I think overall Hispanics are underserved, the majority. And so when you have somebody like you that's already in the public eye, already on radio, you feel the need to reach out, right? And so you answered that call. So we thank you for that, because we need people to represent us in a good light. We need people to be cheering us on, and we need people to be helping us. And so that's awesome that you're doing all that. That's great. And maybe it didn't happen this time around, but next time.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yeah, I think that, like you said, we need representatives that really want to service our community, that really understand the needs of our community. I was born and raised in San Antonio, so I'm very familiar with the city and the needs of the city. And I think that a lot of times, especially right now, it's regressed. It hasn't gotten better. It's actually gotten worse. Or, homelessness is out of control. There's just so many homeless people right now. And then with this weather, I'm one of those people that I'm always thinking of them. Like, oh my God, like, how are they doing? Where are they staying? Gladly, we have a lot of shelters that are open right now that are housing them because they know the storm is coming up. And tomorrow, actually, we're having coats, this fundraiser where we're collecting coats and mitts and stuff like that for these people that need assistance. So again, we're always trying to be out there and outreaching to the community, but knowing the needs of the community and actually doing the service to help them, regardless if you're in a position or not, because I think that we know that there's people out there. And sometimes for me, it's very heartfelt because I'm like, they know about these things, but what is really happening? Like, what are we really doing?
Of course.
Yeah. And well, it also helps that you're a teacher, so
Mhm.
you directly know exactly what's going on in your community, because you're seeing them in your classroom, and you
Right.
know what they're coming in and talking about and what they're going through. And so that's a very special place to be, where you can actually, even if you weren't aware of anything that's going on, you become aware through your students of what they're going through. And so that's a very special place to be, a place of understanding and empathy.
Yes, exactly. That's the other thing, like you said, when you have students and then they talk about their needs and what they need to have and what they're lacking. I remember one thing that really stood out to me when I was doing a presentation. I usually start to ask the kids, like, why are we here? Why are we, you know, why do we come to school? Just to get them thinking about school and the importance of it. And I had a student who actually raised their hand and they were like, I come here to eat. And none of the other students in the class said anything. And it was like, they were just like, yeah, they were shaking their head because they agreed. And when you see these things, especially in our underdeserved, underrepresented communities, our Latino communities, and you have these kids who have these needs that they go to school to eat, to get a meal, to get out of the cold. These are real issues that are happening within our community. And I like to really talk about that because sometimes I feel like people don't really realize that
Yeah.
this is really going on. And I guess either they just don't know or they don't realize that it's still happening. And for me, it's like we're in the richest country in the whole world. And
Right.
so how is this happening?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, how is it okay that it's happening?
I
And
think that's part of it, the not knowing. If they're not knowing, then how could they possibly help if they don't know if there's a issue or a problem? So raising awareness would be part of helping, is to raise awareness about what's going on, because a lot of people are just in front of their phones or their tablets, and that's it. That's all they know. That's all the world they know. And if it's
Yeah,
not to their attention, if it's not on a TikTok, then they don't know, right?
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So that's the other thing, is just to make them aware. But then once they are aware, what are we going to do about it? What can we do different that is going to help make that difference? And we all can do something to make things better for the kids, especially
yeah.
because they need people that are going to help them and they're going to give them the path to success. And we can all do that for the kids.
Oh yes. Well, that's very admirable what you're doing out there. I think especially since you said, starting in the beginning with radio and reaching out to the community. I'm sure that's where you started seeing, the need, even, and of course through your teaching. But um, I think it's very important the position that you have to have the public either eye or ear to send that message out, and so that other people know and maybe want to help out. So I mean, I think that's what it's all about, right? Helping each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all about helping each other. You're right.
Especially right now, because I think that we're seeing all these things happening
Of
in the
course.
news. You see these fires, in California that just went and destroyed like the whole parts of the city. And then you see these hurricanes and these tornadoes and these different disasters that are happening, these wars. And sometimes we look at, and I get surprised, like I saw that, the president was giving people money and stuff, to help them in California. Now, that's great, $700, but is that really going to help people with the $700? And so, and maybe that's all they could, or they're going to give more or something, but then you see the community coming in to help out, because we all need to help each other. If, let's just say, the government is not going to subsidize anything or help people out, so it's really need, we need people that are going to step up, and that we need to be able to learn to help each other. And sometimes we see a lot of people saying different things because of maybe party affiliation or for different reasons. But at the end of the day, we need to come together to help each other, because that's what's going to make our country better, instead of us fighting with each other and not getting anything done that's really going to help everybody.
The most basic: united we stand, divided we fall, and that's it. We need to
Right.
stand united, because if we are not, then we will fall, and then we become prey to anything else that we might not want to. So
Exactly.
you're right. We need to stand together, and we do have to. And that's a beautiful thing about music, as you will. I think I say this a lot, but it's true that music is like a unifier.
There you
You,
go.
you might have different religions, you might have, different, let's say, political views, but you know, everybody's gonna go to a concert and like the same song. Everybody's
Exactly.
right. Somebody can go to all these same people with all these different views will unite to go see the same concert, of a certain person or whatever. And so music is a great unifier. So, I mean, I think that's a great way, a venue go through to get your message across.
Exactly, I agree. And it has been, because sometimes when I do go and I talk to people, or we present the ideas, and thank you all as well for letting me come here and kind of talk about what's going on within the community. It's through these avenues that people start to see, we can do something for the community. I know we had a couple of toy drives here in San Antonio from different musicians that came out, and they came from all parts of Texas and all the United States, just to get toys for children, and make sure that they had a gift for the Christmas season. And there was all these musicians that came out from long distances on their own time, and they want to give. And so when
Yeah.
we have these events, it brings all the people together, the musicians together, for a good cause. And that's how we can also use music and that community to bring about that change. And the great thing about it too, which I love, is that music is so much fun. You go and you listen to the music and you're dancing and you're talking to everybody and everybody's having a good time doing something good. So there's a win in every way when you have music involved.
Yeah, win-win. It's a win-win. What would you like? Is there anything in particular topic that is pressing right now that maybe you're going forward with, and maybe would want to, bring out to the general public at large that we might want to help with, or um, anything like that?
Well, right now, I think one of the important things is that, as we know, there's elections coming up with a lot of positions that are open. Right here in the city of San Antonio, we're actually having a mayor election. The mayor that we have termed out. We're going to have a brand new mayor.
Wow.
And 4 open positions for city council they've termed out. So the whole council is going to be new pretty much, the majority of it. And just like our presidential election, right? We have a whole new president that's going to make new changes. So, sometimes when we have the same president, there's not much change, but this time we do. So we're seeing that huge change. And right now in San Antonio, we're going to have a huge change as well with the brand new mayor and 4 open positions for city council. So what I want to urge to people is for them to really go out there and learn about the candidates, learn about the positions of the candidates, so that we can vote the right people in the right position to make the right decision. Because a lot of the times, we don't see change because we put similar or the same people in the positions. And we see that in the national level as well. It's just the same person for like 30 years. I believe in term limits. Hopefully we'll get, term limits someday, but some people have held their position for like 30, 40 years and we don't see a change.
I was going to ask that. You said they termed out. What is the normal term of these positions that they finally termed out of?
So for the city council, it's 8 years, I believe. So they've already gotten to that level with city positions. So there is term limits here, but like for example, state representative, there is no term limits. For governor of Texas, there is no term limits. There's no term limits for your Texas state House of Representatives, also for the U.S. level, but you do have a term limit for the president, which is 8 years. So it doesn't, make sense, I think, sometimes because your president has a term limit, but your governor doesn't, or your city council has a term limit, but, your state rep doesn't, so it depends, I guess different states have different term limits for terms, but at the national level, right, we have the president that does have a term limit, but then we have state, our representatives, right, U.S. representatives that don't have those term limits. So it's kind of like, it depends, I guess, on where you're at.
I think it's really important to stress to especially our population, La Raza, La Tejana, Hispanic, Americans of Mexican descent, whatever you call yourselves, that if we want to see change, then go out and vote.
Right.
We have the power. It's actually in our hands. And a lot of times I've seen it. There's complacency. They're like, well, somebody else is going to vote, and like, they're going to vote. Somebody else is going to go do it. I'll just wait and see what happens. And guess what? Your one vote might have been the difference for what you wanted to see changed. And if you don't go out and vote, then don't go and complain about things that are being done because you had no part in it, because we actually do have a voice. That's a beautiful thing about being in this wonderful United States of America, that we have a vote and we can, we have a vote. We have a voice with our vote. And if you don't like something, then go out there and do your democratic responsibility as a U.S. citizen to vote. And it's not only is it part of your civic duty, but if you want to see change, if you want something different, don't be just sitting about it, or ranting on Facebook or whatever. Go out and vote. Make the change.
Yes.
It's in your hands. Yeah. So
Yeah, and I just verified. So yeah, it is 8 years. So a lot of them, turned out or already getting to that point. And so we're having this huge election that's coming up, and there's a lot of candidates that are filing for mayor, and people sometimes they'll tell me like, I'm having a hard time, figuring out there's like 20 candidates or
Exactly.
5 candidates or 10 candidates. It's hard to
yeah.
figure out. But for me personally, when they ask me for my advice or what I look for in a candidate, just to make it easier for people, I like to look at the back history of the candidate. Have they been helping the community, not just for the last 3 or 4 years? Because sometimes they'll do that, right? They'll start helping a nonprofit 3 years ago, or start one to check that box. Start, with this club just to check that box. Is this a person of service?
Right.
Have they been doing it for a long time? Have they
Right.
showed that consistency? Are they doing it now?
Right.
What have they been doing? And I think that's important to look at when you're looking at a candidate. And are they really going to help people? Because I think that comes from within, right? It's something that you already have, not just something that you're going to start doing. And so I like to look at that when I'm looking at my candidates and people asking me like who I would recommend.
Those are great pointers, and that's really something good to look out for. Now, where would one look for something like that? I'm just giving it out, throwing it out there to the general public. Where would I want, like, if Sylvia Soto is running for something, where do I find out what services she's done? Where would I find that as a regular American person?
Yes, that's a great question. So one of the things I always try to tell people is to go directly to the website of that candidate. There, they'll tell you a lot about themselves, but also their bio and what they've done. But another great source is Facebook or Twitter, and look at the back of the years. Go through their personal Facebook, not just the campaign Facebook, which will showcase certain things. What does their personal Facebook say? Go 5, 10 years back, whatever,
Right.
and really research the person. And you will learn a lot from doing that.
I'm gonna do that in my own Facebook. I never even checked myself.
Yeah, you look at the person, you're like, oh my God, this is it. You just start looking. You'll be surprised at
I
what
said
you're
that.
finding out.
Why did I post that?
Yeah.
But those are good pointers, and like normally people don't like. I know my family, for the majority, not most of us, but some of us are complacent, and we're the ones that say, not me personally, but family members, that they'll be like, somebody else is going to take care of it. They don't bother to go vote, and they don't bother to go out or even find out about the candidates. And that's where we get our strength. And there's strength in numbers, and that is our strength. And I'm glad that you're being out there, being proactive, and making it more visible that we need to be active, because that's how we're going to get our word in. That's how we're going to get our choices in. That's how we're going to get things done. And if you're not voting, then next time. That's just my personal opinion, not handout for New Mexico Radio. GG.
Everybody's got their own opinions, man. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If they don't, take the time to do that, then it's like, when it happens, it's like, what are we going to do next time?
Right.
And another thing is that when you don't see someone that you trusted, because sometimes they'll tell me when I go out there block walking, they're like, I trusted this person, they said this, they said that, and they say, they were dishonest, they didn't come through. Well, we can also fix that next time they come for re-election. Vote for somebody else. Let's
Yes.
advocate to get somebody different. Because if we keep that same person, it's going to continue. So we can still be proactive. Let's just say we missed an election, something happened. There's another one that's coming up.
Yeah.
And change can happen when we see that. And when we have great candidates, which of course there are amazing candidates that have done things. I always like to ask the candidate, what have you done in the community? Some people might not be able to tell you one thing they've done.
Of course.
Some people could give you a list. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And then maybe they didn't, but you give them a chance and they still don't. So we look at those patterns, right? And we can advocate for those that we actually see are doing well. And you keep them in their position because you're seeing progress within your community. But sometimes I've seen, areas that are stagnant. There's no real change.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to look at that and say, why is this happening? Who's in charge? And what can we do different? And the vote is important because it affects everybody.
Yeah.
And we are here to do something better. So when we don't see that, it's not too late. We can fix it by making those changes because leadership is very important. A lot of the things that happen is due to the leaders that we have and the decisions that they are making. And I think that right now, a lot of people in the community are seeing that. And they're really going out. This last election, there was people that were in line for 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Waiting to vote. Lines blocks long. And they value that and they see that their vote counts and that it's important. So we're seeing that change. And there was, it's a presidential election, so there's a high turnout, but sometimes we have 3%.
That was just about to ask you what percentage of Hispanic voter turnout specifically.
I mean, honestly, I'm good. Just in general, we've seen up to like 3%, 12% of a voter turnout. This is one of the elections before the presidential. And Hispanic turnout, I couldn't give you an actual number because I did not look it up in regards to race. Yes. But even with those small numbers of 10%, 3%, we're less than that.
Definitely, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not good. I mean, the presidential election's always the one election every 4 years. That's huge. But all the other small elections, the turnout is really bad. And in Texas, we're like one of the bottom states with voter turnout.
Oh, I know here in the Valley, there's like, they do cookouts at the near in the vicinity of the voting, I mean, I guess whatever to try to get people to go out there. And I don't know. I honestly don't know what the voting situation is here, but I'm sure it's similar, where there's a lot of apathy. There's not enough people that really believe that their vote does count. And that's sad.
And that's the main reason that I hear when I go out there. They're going to do whatever they want. They're going to pick whoever they want. My vote doesn't matter. I don't want to waste my time. And the thing is that I think that when we start to believe that, that's why these things happen. Because why do other people go out and vote? Just like, for example, with the Vice President Kamala Harris, they donated over almost $1 billion. Woo! $1 billion, $1 billion to her campaign. $1 billion. Why would any company, why would any organization, why would people together donate $1 billion? And that's because her campaign was very, a short amount of time. Why would Microsoft, why would, Apple and all these companies donate all this money to candidates? Some of the candidates that we have, they got donations in the millions, multi-millions. Why? Because their vote doesn't count.
Right.
I mean, she's a prime example because she raised so much money. And if you can look in their finance reports because it's public to see all the companies that donated. So if you look down all these companies, why would they waste their money if it didn't matter, if it didn't count? And so they're doing that. Why are we not doing that? And I can guarantee you, every single person that donated that money went to go vote for that person they donated that money to.
That is a great point to bring up. And thank goodness we have Sylvia Soto to raising awareness about this. Actually, it's a dire situation because I think it kind of filters down to a lot of people with the Tejano music. You've got the Tejano's Dead Camp, and I see Tejano is an ICU, but like it's been picking up.
I see. A la máquina.
It's off the ventilator. It's picking up, but it kind of maybe it's kind of hand in hand with the whole voting. We're not being represented statewide. We're not being represented, locally. We're not being represented federally. So then, I'm sure there is. I haven't seen any documentation on it, but there's got to be a correlation, as to, the activity for voting and the activity of people in general, especially in the Hispanic community, voting for ourselves.
Gigi will be presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award to Elsa Garcia at the 7th All-Star Music Awards on Memorial Day, man. And then look right here. Sylvia Soto, co-host for the 2nd Annual Texas All-Star Filmmaker Awards. Mr. Jesse Torres. The All-Star Podcast, Mr. Jesse Torres is in the house. What's going on, Jesse? Welcome aboard. New Mexico Radio Talk Show is in the house. What's going on, Jesse? Jesse Torres will be on next week. They had to postpone their show due to inclement weather, man. Hopefully you guys are staying warm up here. San Antonio is getting a lot of sleet, a lot of snow, man. I'm not known for San Antonio to get snow.
No, we're not used to that. No, we're not used to that.
Everything closes down because of the snow.
I want to give a couple of shout-outs, man.
We're like, whoop, whoop.
The safety. There's just so many car accidents when there's snow and sleet that it is really bad that they have to close.
Yeah.
Everything closes.
What about a couple of shout-outs real quick, man? We got a lot of people checking in. We got Jose a la máquina. We got right here. We got hi from Marion, Indiana. Wishing my husband Jose A. Peña Sr. a happy birthday. A la máquina. We got always from Tucson, Arizona. The impossible, always impossible, is in la casa.
Yes. Saludos to
Priscilla Veriano Sanchez. Hello from Priscilla. Is in the house. También, man. We got a lot of people checking in. We also got Rigo Rodriguez is in the house. We got TJ Gonzalez. We got Delpha Rodriguez. We got Mary Lou Guerrero. We got
Mary Lou, my sister.
Bella. Your sister's in the house. Wow.
Mary Lou.
We got Maria Bella in the house. Sule. Everybody in the house, man. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of fans tonight. Sylvia, got a lot of people checking you out.
Everybody. Yeah, and awesome. What a great time to come in and listen to Sylvia Soto talk about our need to go out there and vote and that it's important. And vote, Sylvia. Do your thing.
So again, just that information about making that change happen and electing the right leaders. And it's like at everything, right? Because sometimes when you work at a workplace, you have that great manager who does a great job, everything's smooth, people get along, and it's that person, the energy that person brings, the organization, the skills that they bring, the way they're able to talk to people and make things happen. Leadership is so important.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with our government, right? Just making sure that we have those leaders that are making things happen and making things better for everybody. And I think everybody has had that great manager in their life where they're like, man, it was great working for that person. And the moment they left, everything changed. Everything was different. We wish we had this person back because it's the person that really makes things happen. Uh,
Exactly.
and so that's the same exact thing within our governmental system, our school system, is putting the right people in the right positions to make the right decisions for our community. And we as a community can do that because that's what we need to make things better for everybody. And that's why I think it's so important to tell people about it, but also make sure that we do go out there and make that change as well by talking about it.
Yeah, because we're actually giving them our voice. When we elect them, we're giving them our voice to speak for us, to represent us and our needs and what we need and what we want or what we want to see change. And so it is very important. It's really sad that you say 3%. That is so sad. I mean, there's so many other countries that wish they could have that even opportunity. They can only dream about that opportunity. They can't decide that. They can't go out and vote for different leadership. They can't. It's just not part of what they're doing. It's just not their thing. And here we are in the great United States of America, and we do have a voice. And I'm so glad you're bringing it up, Sylvia, because I'm obviously passionate about that because I do go out and vote. But it's like you can't force anybody. They have to want to do it themselves. Like an alcoholic, they have to want to do it themselves. So
Yes.
but if we help our raza realize that we really do have a voice and that we can make a difference, maybe we'll see more numbers out there.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they do, come out, and it's easy. There's always somebody there to help you for people that, don't know how to vote. It's your first time. The people there that work at the stations, they are able to help you, guide you, and make sure that you understand, everything with the voting boxes and filling out the information or anything at all. People shouldn't be afraid to go and vote, especially during early voting because
Yeah.
the lines are shorter.
Yeah.
Election day, the lines can be super long.
Super.
But yeah, it takes a couple minutes. Sometimes when the lines are long, of course, you might be there for a long time, but it takes a couple minutes. If there's no line, just give them your ID, go to the voting booth, and that's it.
Maybe we need to have a carne asada at every polling place.
Right? Once I vote, then you can have a taco, right?
Right? When we see that you voted, when you have a little sticker that says I voted, then you can have a taco. Fajita. I don't know, but we need to be going out there because we do have a voice, and I think it's kind of like I said, it correlates with us being underrepresented in the music business, being underrepresented with the Latin Grammys, being underrepresented in the Grammys. I mean, maybe it's all related. I don't know. Maybe, right?
Yes,
Well,
and also
it's just like our award shows that that we have in our Tejano industry también. If you don't get the votes, I mean, people get discouraged. You gotta get out there and you gotta put out the votes. You gotta get your fans. You gotta get people to get out there and get the votes. I mean, it's not gonna get handed to you. You gotta get out there and you gotta bust your tail for it. So you gotta put it out there. You gotta put the link out there as soon as you get the link, put it out there. Start tagging people. Start putting it out there to your family. Get a QR code. I mean, social media nowadays is the most easiest thing nowadays. I mean, of course, now with this, this whole presidential and election thing. I mean, I don't know how technical it is now, with all this tech savvy. I mean, back then they didn't have that, right? But I mean, nowadays, with everything with computers and iPhones, tablets, and QR codes, and man, scan it here and there's a vote, right? But if you want to get your votes, you want to get that award, you want to get that nomination, you want to get there in the top 5 category, you want to get in the top 10. just get out there and get your fans to vote. I mean, it's that simple, and it's not easy. You just got to get it out there.
You do have a point. I mean, the candidate at some point has some responsibility as well to try to sway us to go out
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to do our part too. I think it goes
Exactly.
both ways, right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
mean,
Of course, the candidate has to make sure that they give their message and that they're able to communicate with people so that they can go out and vote for them and support them and their cause. But, just by going out there and speaking to the people, one thing that is really helpful is actually going out into the community, grassroots, meeting the people directly. They love to see that. They want to talk to you directly and they want to get to know what you have to say. So that's a great way for anybody that wants to run. Right now, the positions are open for mayor and city council. So if anybody out there is interested, they don't close till February the 14th, and they're open. So anybody can apply as long as they live in the area and they're a certain age. There's no educational
wow.
minimum.
I was just about to say, well, Bobby Pulido's changing careers, but he lives over here.
Right. There's a lot of people want to run, but yeah, you do have to live in the area. But there's no education minimum, and
Really?
there's no experience minimum, which is surprising to me. But
Really?
yes, so I mean, you have to sell
Oh,
yourself
and
another man.
and
There's no minimum.
I'm just
Hand
kidding.
dog. You need to live there, hand dog.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
What
Yeah,
about
you
you,
have to
Miss
live in
Soto?
this area.
Why don't you run for mayor?
Oh, with this particular, my area is not in the area that I need to be in, unfortunately.
Mm.
But if I would have, that would have been a thought. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad that somebody like you is caring enough about our community to put this information out there because I don't think there's enough. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, we could definitely hear more about how we can be heard and how our voices can be heard and how things can change. We can literally change things if we don't like them. We can change them if we just go out there and vote. It's really that simple.
It really is. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you.
And Sylvia, what have you learned in the years of being a host in the radio business? What have you learned? What kind of experience can you tell us?
Um, well, I would say that being a host, a TV host, and a radio host, I've learned a lot about the different musicians that I've met and the different talent that's out there. A lot of love for music. They give their whole life. They're
Exactly.
practicing and they're auditioning and they travel. Oh my God. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. They just got from one city to the next to do an interview. And, they're just all over the place trying to promote their music and really putting their heart into their art, which is very admirable to me because, you feel the passion within their music and a lot of them, they give their all to try to give, to their fans, which
Yeah.
they really care about. And, it's just good seeing all the different talent, hearing their music, being able to talk to them and ask them questions about how they started, what was their dream, what do they want to do next, what have they done. And every story is different,
Of
but
course, yes.
every single one is so unique to that person and to just the Tejano and our music industry because this music is our music. We are part of this culture. Somos de esta cultura, ¿verdad? And from our indigenous roots.
Yes.
And this is our culture that was already here for a very long time. And so,
We didn't cross the borders crossed us.
right, right, exactly. And so, because this is all, part of what they would later call Mexico, right? Or the indigenous area. And so um, this music is very traditional to our people, very
Right.
historic, and that's another thing with in regards to elected officials or just in being in the government is that we're able to highlight these things so that people know about our community, our contribution to Texas and to the United States because it is important
Yes.
and our music as well. We are part of this nation. We were here and we contribute a lot to the community. So that's why we have to make sure that we represent our
Yes.
people.
And because I know when I went to school here in the RGB, there was no history lessons on Tejanos or Tejano music or, you know, and I don't think there's anything anywhere else. And like my former co-host for Hides y Desveladas, she taught history in Corpus, and it's kind of frowned upon to even mention it because it's not in the curriculum. We're not even in the curriculum. We don't even exist in the curriculum. Maybe one sentence or maybe one mention. Cesar Chavez, that's it. And Cesar Chavez is supposed to represent everybody. And maybe we have more of us voting out here, and maybe we can change the legislation so that our history is in the books. Our musical pioneers are in the books forever because they are our roots and they are our pioneers of this music. And that's important because they are our heritage.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of our kids don't know that. And that was one thing that I'm advocating for is that we have our Hispanic history within our history that's being taught in school because this is the start of our nation. And it's important to highlight all the great people that contributed to even the Alamo. A lot of Hispanic people fought in the Alamo.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, our indigenous community, they need to be talked about more than, like you said, a couple of sentences because it's important. And we need to change our curriculum to include all history.
Yes, because without that, I feel they're lacking the pride of who they are. Because they don't know who they are. They don't know the history that we have.
A lot of times they think I'm an immigrant, but it's like some people are already here.
Yeah.
They're not immigrants. People were already living here. So it's like, that's where there's a confusion in understanding our history and how this is their land and, their ancestors were here. And for them to understand their history and how we contributed to that history in a positive way and give that, our pride to our kids, pride to our community, so they can understand the importance of our contributions to this nation as well. And that's why it's important to include that in our schools and that we should include that in our schools because it's not that we want to include it, it's just that it's part of history.
Well, it is part of history. It's been excluded. We need to include it.
Right, exactly. It's part of history that's not included right now. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we need to make sure that all of it is represented, not just certain parts. And, our ancestors are part of that huge part of history that we're not talking about that's important for our people to know and that deserve to have a part of it. I mean, there's parts of every race, but I think that we should have a little bit more of our Hispanic race in there, in our indigenous community, because it's not
raise awareness about our heritage, to raise awareness and more pride in our own heritage. Saludos to Loca Pasión. They're gonna be on the show tomorrow, Hendo.
Yep, tomorrow, Loca Pasión in the house. Joey Jans is in La Casa. Joey Jimenez, Loca Pasión are in La Casa. We got them tomorrow, 8 o'clock, New Mexico time, 9 o'clock, Texas time. We might have the whole band in the house. Might have them play a few jams for us, man. Working on something, man. We might, man. No promises for you guys, man. But we got a lot of people in the house tonight, man. We got a lot of fans in the house. We got Ashley and Raquel Carranza in La Casa. That's our next interview on Thursday, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of people in the house. We got the Impossible. We got Jesse Torres in the house. What's going on, Jesse? Big shout out to Jesse Torres, man. He puts on a lot of award shows, man. Big shout out to him. He's taught hen dog a lot, man. I've been at a lot of his award shows, and I got a trophy, man. It's back over here, man. Big shout out to Mr. Jesse Torres. We got Roy Arriaga in the house. We got Bianca Ruiz in the house. We got David Vela in the house. We got Maria Bella. Still got Mary Lou Guerrero all the way from Mission, Texas in the house. We got a lot of people in the house, man. But it's just different, man, with this technology, right, Sylvia? I mean, back when you were doing interviews, I mean, it was all, live in person, live in studio. Now this technology, I mean, it's cell phone, audio, technology, video.
I think that when COVID came out back in 2020, that was where the huge transition came.
Exactly.
Which, just a couple years ago. But before that, there was a more live and everything was in person, even our job, everything. But COVID kind of made that happen in a fast forward way, because there was just like, no, we didn't have an option. I remember when I was teaching in school, it was like we went to Zoom and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? It was like totally different because it was all in person. So it really took such a twist and such a change in 20.
It was hard to give him the look with Zoom.
Well, there was that mute button, so that was the good part, right? You don't hear anybody. Or they're raising their little hand, but it's like, oh, hold on. But yeah. So there's some good things, right, about going online and doing interviews online, is that, again, we're all in different cities, which in different states, like, and we can all still come together. So there were good things that came out of it in regards to opening opportunities, but it is totally different than, so I remember, doing online shows in person, and it was live, 1, 2, 3, bam, you're on. And so you're talking and you're doing whatever, but it really prepared me, I will say this, to public speak, to be live on TV and be prepared to what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna ask. But also now that I ran for office, I can public speak in front of people, and I'm not uncomfortable because I'm already used to that. 1, 2, 3, you're on, and there's no messing up. How that goes with live TV.
Exactly.
And it really helped me. Just prepared me, and now it's a lot easier for me to stand in front of people and do interviews and talk to people and ask questions and answer questions on the spot. You have to be able to do that. And so it really helped me, I think, in the long run, to be able to do all of that. But it is different now. But I still really love the in-person, interaction with the artist or whoever you're talking to, because you're able to see their reaction and kind of like build that rapport. So I think there's good things with in person, but also the online, when you're able to have like a choice, right, to do different things.
Yes, there's advantages and disadvantages, but definitely one of them is.
Well, yes, and there's a big advantage and a disadvantage, because I'm like 15 hours from GG or something like that, and I think I'm like 9 hours from San Antonio. So, to do this live podcast over there in San Antonio, to drive all the way back, it's about an 18-hour drive to San Antonio and back.
But with the winter storm, that's not a good idea.
But it's nice, to do like you said, to do them in person, like I said, technology nowadays, man. You could send a link like tomorrow. Like we got an interview tomorrow with Loca Pasión. 20 plus years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they would have to drive all the way to New Mexico, come to my studio, and do a live interview. Now I just send them a link and vámonos. Eventually I'm going to bring them to the studio, pero but with technology, you could just send, links like a Zoom meeting, and you're on the show. But and you're right, with 2020, with the COVID, and I mean, it was just like a boom, man. You seen everybody on Facebook Live, man. You had DJs, you had podcasting, you had artists playing live concerts, man. I remember watching a lot of different musicians playing live. I remember paying for on Facebook Live to watch a live concert. Like if I was going to the concert, I was like, wow, check this out. I mean, it's what you do when you support these artists, man. Support, man.
It's evolution. We were evolving.
And now look at us now. Now we got a podcast and we're here today.
Sylvia, what do you see different from all the time back from when you started to now? Do you see different, besides the obvious technical differences, do you see difference in the artists or difference in what's going on? What do you see from your point of view?
I think that right now that they're still the same artist. You have these legends or artists that have been here for a long time and they're still playing. I think that there are some upcoming artists that are coming, but I don't see, and even back then, there wasn't like such a large variety of them. A lot of the times when we listening to the radio, it's still the same music. And I think that it's sometimes you'll hear a new artist, but it's not as much on the radio. But that was the same thing back then too. So I don't know if that's going to evolve. Will we have more new artists coming up on the radio that we can hear more of a variety? And of course, there has been some, but not some that have been like really highlighted as much, I think.
That's true. I think so the more things change, the more they stay the same. But on the upside, I think a lot of internet radio stations do pick all of those up, and even these podcasts that through Hen Dog, I've been knowing new artists, that I didn't know existed.
And different guests. I mean, when I brought Gigi onto the podcast, she's like, "And Dog, who we having tonight?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You're about to find out." and then after the show, she's like, "I didn't know this about this artist." And then, she goes and contacts them after the show, or they contact her.
Put them on my show.
Put them on her show, and that's what it's all about: helping each other, man.
You're right. A lot of the internet radios are highlighting a lot of new artists and different music, which is good because again, we want to expand the new artists and bring in new music and different things. And that's what these types of shows give the opportunity for us to be able to do. The show in Austin that we had, it was more of an independent show. So we were able to pick a lot of the artists that we wanted to bring, which included new artists. Because again, if you're sometimes affiliated with a certain network, sometimes they let you do certain things, sometimes they don't. So when you have something that's independent and that you create yourself, you get to pick and choose what you want to do, which is great because we want to have that opportunity to kind of be creative and do what we want, right? That's going to help our music industry.
Yes.
And
I feel like terrestrial radio hasn't changed much, but as far as through the internet, there has been innovation. What do you think that link could be to get terrestrial radio stations to come on the bandwagon? You think?
I think that
it happened to single out right now. Just asking for a friend.
A la máquina.
I think that it depends on who's at the radio station because it's all up to the person that's there, that they're open to doing that and allowing it to happen. And, that they every once in a while will kind of highlight somebody different. It's always up to the person that's there, whether they want to do it or not. And I think that that's what makes one station different from another or one DJ different from another.
Right.
That one, some will and some just don't. They don't want to change, what they've been doing. So that's kind of where they want to keep the kind of their music list.
That's fair. I mean, everybody, cada cabeza es un mundo, and that's fair enough. Um, but yeah, I think it's a lot like a lot of people who like. Here in the RGB at the Tejano Legend Pioneers. There's some, the pioneers, like people who invented Tejano are there, and they're like, "That's not Tejano. That's not Tejano. They have every right to say that's not Tejano. That's not Tejano. Whatever." And they're not maybe too accepting of maybe evolved Tejano, different kind of Tejano-ish, I don't know. But guess it would be the same mentality as the DJs that kind of just like stick to like a certain type of Tejano. And plus I guess that's fair too. But at least, give everybody a chance like we're doing. Hen Dog is doing here on New Mexico Radio, and he does it veladas with me. So I mean, I guess it's fair game.
Well, it's just like I told you yesterday, Sylvia, when I was sending you the link and making sure you're able to get on, and you weren't having any technical difficulties, and um, I like. I mean, I've done it since I was on an online radio station. I've always liked to bring up coming artists to the show. Don't get me wrong, I love all these legendary artists, and I'm always going to continue to support the legends. To the wheels fall off to New Mexico Radio Talk Show or DJ Hendog at my events. But I'm still going to embrace all our new Tejanos, and I don't care if you're a track singer or karaoke singer or whatever you want to call those artists. I mean, um, I just want to support all these upcoming artists, man, and I've always will do that. Continue to support upcoming artists, and that's what I want to embrace this talk show. Um, to do upcoming artists and still continue to support not just only upcoming artists, but embrace all artists and just support la onda, la cultura, and just help everybody out. And hopefully everybody comes to the show. And the best advertisement for New Mexico Radio Talk Show is word of mouth, and and just stay humble, and good things will come to the New Mexico Radio Talk Show.
Sylvia, what's in the future for Sylvia Soto?
Well, I'm going to continue to help the community and just be out there advocating for the kids and education, making sure that, I continue to do something of service. I'm also a lay lecturer at Mission San Jose, which is one of our churches here. So it's always about service for me, just making sure that I give back. I've always really enjoyed doing that. And so that's what I'm going to continue to strive to do, and continue to inform the community about the needs of our communities, children, and the elderly community, and just what we can do to make things better. I think if we inform people about the power that they really have and the things that they can do to make things better for their families and their future, and they're given that opportunity, that we can make our communities and our homes and just everything better for us if we inform and we work together. And that's what I always strive to do, whether it's through music and doing shows and just doing different events, because that's always fun to spread music, which is always fun and exciting, and people get to like enjoy themselves. Or whether I'm doing a community service event, or if I'm running for a position that I want to help, it's always about service and just really being able to do something that is going to help others. I just have I always think it's fun to be able to do that. So I'm going to continue to do that, and just hopefully, be able to inspire other leaders. I'm always trying to get the kids and other people to run for positions, to be a leader within their community, what they can do to build up their self-esteem so that they can know that they can be leaders too. I was always, sometimes I tell myself that back person, right? Like, I'm always in the back, but I always got encouraged by a lot of people like, we want you to lead this, we want you to lead that, we want you to, try for this position. And I took those
Exactly.
chances and I took those opportunities. And, you know, uh, I learned to embrace that and just use it to help. And I think that people, if they know their power and that they know that if they really want to do something, that they can do it, that anything can happen and we can all be uh, what we want to be and dream and reach the goals that we have in our hearts, because it's possible, to do these things. And all you have to do is just um, do it, basically. Don't hesitate. I think fear is one of the biggest things that holds people back
Right.
from doing anything. But fear is not of God, right? And fear is not something that should hold us back, because we can conquer that fear and move forward. And if we just do that, I really believe that anyone can do anything that they want in their life, especially if it's in their mind and in their heart, because it was placed there for a reason.
Yeah.
And so just go for it. Just do it, and why not?
What a positive message, Miss Sylvia Soto. How lucky is San Antonio to have Sylvia Soto helping out there for the toy drives and the needy and the elderly. I'm not in San Antonio, but I will thank you for them.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate
and
it.
yeah, the communities always need people like you that are willing to serve, that are willing to help out, that see where the need is and go attack it and get to it and do something about it, and be active
Or
about it. Sylvia Soto for president, why not?
Thank you. They've told me that before.
Yeah, why
Thank
not?
you.
That's
Right.
right. Why not? Dream big. And a dream is only a dream until you make it a goal and make steps towards it. I wanted to take a special hello to Jesse Torres because he says, and I'll, if you can put it up again, hand dog, Gigi will be presenting the Lifetime
let me
Achievement
see.
Award to Elsa Garcia at the 7th All Star Music Awards on Memorial Day. This is very important to me because my dad wrote the song Ya Te Vi, and he is giving me
Wow.
the honor of presenting it to her. And thank you, Jesse Torres. Thank you. I just wanted, I don't even know how to thank you, just besides saying thank you, but thank you for that.
I think Gigi needs to record the song Ya Te Vi.
That's an amazing song. It's so popular.
Yes, and yeah, and so I'm maybe working on getting my dad recognized for the songwriter of that song for a
That's
lifetime achievement.
amazing.
Maybe. But back to Sylvia Soto. Yeah, why not Sylvia Soto for president? If Kamala Harris was already running for president, why not Sylvia Soto?
I know, right? We need to have more Hispanic people, right, represented in the
We need the representation.
U.S.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so why not? Why not? You're dreaming for representative. Maybe it's because need to go higher. I don't know.
That,
Let's.
that's what other people have told me. Like, no, baby. So, well, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I definitely want to be able to help in a bigger capacity. That's why I ran for that position, because I was already helping locally, but it's like I want to do something more. It goes into your heart, and sometimes you ask yourself like, yes, no, yes, but it's there, and so hopefully we'll see what opportunities come up. But it's definitely something that I do want to look into to help more people and make bigger changes, especially our Hispanic community, to represent our people and make sure that they're represented, and their needs are represented,
Yes.
because it's very important for us.
Yes, I agree. And to instill pride in our younger generation that might not feel a connection, you know, and so doing that would be awesome. If you get into legislation, I know you're not going to forget about us. I know you're going to go in there and make changes so that we are better represented in the schools, in the history books, you know. for all of our sakes. So thank you, Miss Sylvia Soto. I am so glad I co-hosted today. I feel very lucky that I was the one to co-host today,
Well,
because
had fun. I great meeting you, and had a lot of fun. You had great questions, by the way. So thank you for your questions.
yes, you're very
Wow,
welcome.
man.
You kind of moved it along with all your information. So thank you for that. And Hen Dog, I want to thank you so much for letting me co-host on here, and
Hey,
letting me
anytime.
push my
Anytime.
hands y desveladas on Sundays at 2. So watch my podcast at 2 o'clock on Sundays. This Sunday we're gonna have Carlos P. All right. So
A
thank
la máquina. I'm going to be sure to tune into that one. Make sure you tag me, all right?
yeah. Oh look, I forget to tag. I'm too busy. I'm one man show. It's too much going on. So yeah.
One
So
man show.
yeah. So thank you, Hen Dog, for letting me sit here and talk to Sylvia Soto, because I feel very privileged and honored that I got to talk to you today, and I got to know more about you. Yeah. So if I see your name on the ballot, I'll be like, oh, of course.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
No, man.
So,
No, it's all about having a good time on our show, man. It's all about, we always have special guests, man. And I mean, we're so busy, man. I think I'm busy all the way till, I think, end of February, if I'm not
oh,
mistaken, man.
wow.
And she was just like, we had a quick little meeting before our show, and she's like, Hen Dog, why do you gotta be on 4 nights a week? How do you do it? I'm only on one week, one night a week.
And that's a lot for me already.
She's like, Hen Dog, can you cut it down to 2 nights a week? I'm like, I wish I could. No, just kidding. No, I just had too much fun with this, man. We got a great staff, great team, and no, I'm just we just build and build and build, and these artists have fun, and the promoters, they contact me, and their managers and their record labels, they contact myself, and they contact the team and the podcast, and they want to get in for a single release or video release and an album. And we don't just interview artists. We got Sylvia Soto in the house, so we don't just keep it Tejano. We keep it classy. We keep it jiggly. We do it all, man. But we do it all. We interview anybody, bar owner, club owner, model, whatever you want to do, man. We do it all. um,
It's because everybody has a say. And
exactly.
yeah.
We want to know people's history. I mean, I think last night I did a 2-hour music show, and I think Sirius Tejano wants to put me in their hot seat. A la máquina. So they're gonna throw some hard questions at me with Kelly D and yikes. So it's been a long time since I've been interviewed, so it's gonna be I'm in for a neat little treat, but so I got to get a hold of her, see when they want to set that up. So maybe I might catch a break to get away from the talk show of my talk show to go do that. I might let these ladies handle the New Mexico Radio Talk Show for that night. No, just kidding. No, I do want to say thank you, Sylvia, for hanging out with us.
Of course, anytime. It was
Is there
great.
any last words you want to say to your family, your friends? You spent an hour on that máquina. You're going to charge me after the show. An hour and 18 minutes. Is there anything you'd like to say to your family or friends before we head out?
Just I appreciate all of their support, to all my family, my friends, people that have supported me with everything that I do. And I'm always thankful for their time and, donations that they donate to my campaign, and volunteers, which have helped me as well, different things that I've done, and people that give. I appreciate them for all the service that they give as well. And as a team, always trying to do something good together. And I'm always grateful for everyone who also gives of their time, and I'm appreciative of that.
Well, we appreciate you, Sylvia. We appreciate everything you're doing for La Cultura, and I mean, long time in the radio business and TV business as well. And looking forward to seeing you more often, and hopefully we get to see you in San Antonio when we're in San Antonio. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. God bless you, and hopefully to see you very, very soon. You had some great information for our show and our guest, and be sure to check out Hideous y desvelado.
Hideous, hideous,
Hideous. I see.
hideous.
I gotta get
Not
my
hideous. You keep saying hideous, hideous y desvelado. No, hideous.
see. I gotta get my Spanglish.
Not hideous, hideous.
Ay, ay, ay. See, I gotta get my Spanglish going on. See,
I will definitely check it out. I want to see. I want to see your show.
Yes, yay.
it starts on Sunday about noon. Not noonish, right?
It used to be noonish. It used to be noonish because, oh my goodness, it was so hard to be ready by that time. So finally decided to change it to 2 p.m. So
2 p.m.,
two-ish. Just in case there's technical difficulties.
A la máquina. Once again, Sylvia, God bless you. Thank you. God bless. Bye, Sylvia. Thank you. Wow. Gigi, talented guest, right? Talented, right?
Oh, wow, what a surprise. Oh, I am so, honestly, I feel so happy. And thank you, Hendog, again, because I would have never known about Sylvia Soto and all that she's about. And it's good to know about good people.
Well, you wanted to take a nap. You said, well, do we got
I did take a nap. I almost missed the show. I was like, what time is it? Oh my God. I did take a nap. No, because I had just gotten home when we had that meeting. So I was like, I need a nap. Ay, no estoy viejita. But yeah, so thank you, because I am so glad I co-hosted today, because I got to know about Sylvia Soto and everything that she's doing out there in San Antonio, and why not Sylvia Soto for president? Why not? Why not? I would love that.
It would be so awesome, man. I mean, just all the background history and just what she knows and how I mean, I came in blind just like you did. I mean, I didn't know anything about her. I mean, I knew some parts about her from yesterday, from just talking to her about, about the show yesterday and getting her situated for the show today. And I only talked to her for like 10, 15 minutes or so, something like that. And then now we talked to her for an hour and a half today. So
yes,
I got a whole an hour and 45 minutes of talking to her. So, and just in that nick of time, man, just so phenomenal, man. And that's what's cool, man. Getting to know these guests, man. They got so much history behind their talent, man. And that's what it's all about, man, is getting to know them and seeing what they got behind their blindfold over there. You
Yes.
never know what they got behind their story.
Mm-hmm. And that it's an important story, because their story is our story, and so it needs to be shared. It needs to be known, and people need to know the wonderful things that she's doing out there in San Antonio, so that maybe more people can get on board and do other things, in other areas wherever they're at, for the community as well. She's inspiring. She's inspiring.
Exactly. And also, I want to put something out there, man. We just got a confirmation, man. New Mexico Radio Talk Show will be at the Internet Radio Gala, man, in San Antonio, Texas, on March the 13th, man, at the Mustang Sally's, man.
Oh.
And there's a big information right there, man. Radio station Gala, man, March the 13th, man, 2025, Thursday, man, from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., man. Big event, man. Brought to you, man, by the man himself, man, Mr. Vic Gonzalez, man, Vic G Promotions, man, and Mr. Rudy Lopez, man, letting it happen over there, man, at Mustang Sally's. It's going to be a big event, man. It's an Internet Radio Station Gala, man, 2025, man, Tejano Conjunto Festival, man. It's going to be a big show, man. It's a great place to meet artists, DJs, radio station, event promoters, all under one roof, man. You're gonna see everybody there, man. So be sure to have your merch, your business cards, make sure you have everything ready, man, because this place gets packed, man. It's a great event, man. It's been going on for years and years, man. Big shout out to Mr. Vic Gonzalez, man. He's been putting it on for many, many years, and he's keeping it going strong for you guys, man. Big shout out to all that, man. It's going down at Mustang Sally's on March the 13th, man, in San Antonio, Texas, man. It's going down, man. New Mexico Radio Talk Show will be in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And then, and one more thing, ladies and gentlemen. Big interview, man, with Joey Jams in Loca Pasión Mañana, 8 o'clock p.m. New Mexico time, 9 o'clock p.m. Texas time. That's going down, man. Loca Pasión.
Is Alizé going to be your co-host and Maria Linda?
Yeah, they'll be on tomorrow.
Oh man, it's gonna be a good show.
It's gonna be a
Show.
jam packed, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
jam packed, man.
Awesome, awesome.
Jam packed show, man. We got a full force, man. Full force in the house, man. Man, I do want to say thank you to everybody in the house, man. I do want to say thank you to our proud sponsors, man. Let me put them out there. Let me put our proud sponsors, man. Let me give a big shout out, man, to our photography in the house. Celebrity Ray Photography out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. And let me give a shout out, man, to DJ Hen Dog in the house, man. Let me give a shout
Woo!
out, man, to our distribution company, DJ Hen Dog Promotions. A la máquina. That's a promoter. That's a sponsor right there. And let
That's
me give
so
a shout out
bad.
to Veronica Chapa in la casa right there, ladies and gentlemen. And let me give another one right here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of people checking in, man. Natalia Castillo Designs, man. Comio Marketing Company, man. That's right.
Oh, look
Consultant,
at you,
innovative
all
marketing, man.
sponsored up.
We got it going on, man. We got the Pura Vida, man. That's right, man. Ay, ay, ay. We got a lot of things going on, man.
Awesome, awesome.
We got a Canto Event Center and One Stop Party Rentals. And ladies
Wow.
and gentlemen, we got a lot of things going on. Let me see. I'm putting and don't forget, man, this is going to be 96 hours of Tejano Conjunto Music Marathon, man, in Vegas, man. 2025,
Ooh, I love
July
it.
the 10th through the 13th, man. Westgate in Las Vegas, Nevada. David and Sarah Chavez, man, are bringing you 96 hours of puro Tejano Conjunto, man. A la máquina.
Nice.
96 hours. Man, that's a lot of music, man.
San Antonio, like my grandpa used to say.
I just don't know if I can party that long, man. 96 hours of music a la modis.
No, you're gonna have to pick and choose. You have to pick and choose. You can't. Well, I mean, you could try, but
Exactly. And then don't forget, man, La Fiebre Fiesta, man. That's right, man. It's going to be in Pasadena Fairgrounds, man, Friday and Saturday, May the 23rd and 24th, my birthday weekend. It's going to be an awesome show there, man. Lucky Joe, Ram Herrera, Bianca Ruiz, Madison Pulido, Avicio, man, Los
quarter moon.
Marcos Hermanos Peña, and also Lázaro Perez, Los Conjunto Cats, Lucky Joe, La Fiebre, Quartermoon Productions, Jim Luna, putting on this big event, man, in the Pasadena area, man. $20 pre-sale, $50 VIP tickets, man. There's a big flyer for you guys, man. Let me see, man. Don't forget, man, Cowgirl Breakfast, man. That's right, man. Going down this Friday with Danny Farias, man, at the ranch, man. Going down, man. Man, there are just so many events, man. I wish I could attend. I'm
Oh,
gonna have to give me a
only one of you.
man. DJ, I'm gonna have to give me a like a 10 job, man, to attend all these events, man.
For real, for real.
I
Man,
mean,
you're
I would
committed.
be able to afford it, but you see, I got all this podcast. I got a $10,000 podcast set up, and to
I,
put it on an airplane. You know how much it's going to cost to put it on the plane.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. No, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, but I do want to say thank you
But
guys.
luckily, there is choices, and for everybody else out there who can come, there's choices. So that's a good thing.
Exactly, man. And then don't forget, man, we got Ashley Grant on Thursday, man. Live interview with Ashley Grant, New Mexico artist, man. Don't forget. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you guys. I do want to say thank you to everybody, our managers in the house, Paul and Jessica, all the way from Arizona. My mom, Linda Candelaria, the owner of the station. A la máquina. Yikes.
Ooh.
Well, that's who pays the podcast. So we got to give her a shout out because if we don't
Shout
give her
out
a
to
shout out,
mom.
the podcast will get shut down.
And you don't get dinner.
and the internet will get shut down because that's who pays the podcast, right? Yeah, man. I do want to say thank you guys so much, man. Is there any last words, GG, to our fan base out there that you'd like to give a shout out to before we head out?
Just thank you to everybody for joining over here with the New Mexico radio station, doing awesome things, picking up the Tejano Onda, getting it everywhere, pushing it as much as possible. Stay safe, everybody out there. Cuídense mucho. God bless you. God be with you. And spread the love, man. Be kind to each other.
Once again, God bless. Thank you. Good night. And we'll see you guys mañana. Thank you to Sylvia Soto. Thank you, Gigi. Don't forget to check her out on Sunday. I might tune into that show. She tags me.
I won't. Don't forget.
Hi, Gigi. God bless you guys. Good night. We love you. Let's go radio talk show in the house. God bless.
Bye bye.